Okay, so what happens when you smash together two massive ideas, super resilient off-grid infrastructure and the absolute latest generation of AI? Well, you get something called the sovereign AI stack. And this thing, it could totally change what it means to be independent in our super connected world. So let's dive right in.
We take it for granted, but our entire world runs on these fragile lines. Power grids, supply chains, you name it. And they're way more brittle than we like to think. So what happens when they snap? It gets you thinking about a pretty wild idea. What if we could just cut the cord for good?
All right, to even begin to wrap our heads around that, we've got to start with the physical world. I'm talking about the actual nuts and bolts. There's this radical philosophy out there that says, hey, maybe we need to rebuild our entire foundation from scratch. And they mean that literally. Yeah, this idea is the whole mission behind a company called DeReticular. Their argument is pretty simple. Our current systems are like a line of dominoes. You knock one over and the whole thing comes crashing down. They say that's just obsolete. So the future, for them, isn't about making stronger lines. It's about getting rid of the lines altogether. And this isn't just theory. They're actually building it. It's called Project Octagon. And they're setting up these totally self-sufficient nodes in some of the most extreme places you can imagine. We're talking the Canadian tundra, the Arizona desert. Each one is in what they call island mode. That means it's on its own for power, for connectivity, for everything. And get this, they export high-value digital assets, so they actually pay for themselves. It's genius. Okay, so you're probably wondering, how on earth do you manage these super remote, super complex sites without a whole team of people on the ground? Well, the answer is you build an AI native operating system. It's called RIOS, and you can just think of it as the autonomous brain of the whole operation. It runs everything from the power generators to the maintenance bots using something called agentic workflows. That's just a fancy way of saying smart AI programs that can figure out how to get a job done all by themselves.
And this is where things get, well, honestly, kind of wild. Rios isn't just turning wrenches on machines. It's practically running the business. They have AI agents that are part of the corporate leadership. I mean, check this out. You've got one called Remnant, whose whole job is to dream up black swan events, total grid collapse scenarios, and stress test the network. Then there's Thunder, an AI that literally writes its own grant proposals to bring in capital, an AI that applies for its own funding. It's incredible.
So, to pull something like this off, you need some serious intelligence under the hood. And it just so happens, the timing couldn't be better. A whole new generation of AI tools has just hit the scene, and they're making this whole vision, well, a lot more real. Okay, first up, let's talk about Claude 4.6. The big deal with this one is its built-in tools for creating AI agents. Now, don't think of these as just simple chatbots. No way. These are more like autonomous AI workers. You can give them a complex goal, and they'll figure out all the steps to get it done. It's exactly the kind of thing a system like Rios needs to function.
And you don't have to take my word for it. The CEO of Replit really nailed it. He said Claude is the engine that gives their AI agents the power to turn ideas into actual apps. And that's exactly what DeReticular is looking for, to scale up their own AI executives.
All right, next on the list is Gemini 3.1 Pro. Now, this model's special skill? It's a master at untangling really tough knots. I'm talking deep, complex reasoning for those messy, multi-step problems that would just completely stump other AIs. It shines when things get weird. Yeah, its real superpower is dealing with edge cases. All the weird, unpredictable stuff you can't plan for. The co-founder of a company called Cartwheel said they used it to squash a super tricky bug that had been bugging them forever. Now, imagine you're running one of those off-grid nodes and a freak storm hits or some random piece of hardware fails. Having an AI that can solve novel problems on the fly, that's an absolute game changer. And rounding out our trio, we have Nano Banana 2. This one is all about visuals. It generates pro-level, studio-quality images at lightning speed. And we're not just talking about making pretty pictures for social media. Nope. This is about creating hyper-realistic, high-fidelity assets for serious industrial work. Here's a great example. The CEO of Wearing talked about how it can take a low-quality photo from a user and turn it into a professional, studio-grade shot. Now, think about what that means in an industrial context. You could use that same power to create incredibly realistic training simulations for, say, a critical system failure. You could train your people for the worst-case scenario without anything actually breaking. So, let's recap. On one hand, we've got this tough-as-nails autonomous infrastructure. On the other, we have these ridiculously powerful new AI models. So what happens when these two worlds collide? This is where the magic really starts.
And it's a perfect fit, like puzzle pieces snapping into place. DeReticular needs to scale up its autonomous AI execs? Bam! Claude's agent tools are perfect for that. They need to solve those bizarre, unpredictable bugs in the field? Gemini's deep reasoning is built for exactly that challenge. And creating advanced training sims? Nanobabana's visual generation has them covered. It's more than just a good fit. It's like these technologies were made for each other.
So when you combine these things, you start to see brand new products emerge, things that just weren't possible before. To really see what I mean, let's zoom in on one really powerful example that ties all of this together: the autonomous help desk. The number one problem this thing solves is a big one: security. Think about it. Most IT help desks today are in the cloud. That means every time someone at your company asks for help, you're sending potentially sensitive info, network diagrams, admin passwords, out to some third-party data center. It's a huge security hole that a lot of people just don't think about. So, the solution is a two-part autonomous help desk that lives completely on your own hardware. Nothing goes to the cloud. You've got your level 1 agent, the triage sentinel. It's the front line. It answers basic questions by searching only your internal company docs. Then, if things get more serious, it escalates to the level 2 agent, the remediation architect. And this one is the heavy hitter. It can actually log into your systems securely, run diagnostics, and execute commands to fix the problem all by itself. And you might think setting this up would be a nightmare, but it's shockingly simple. First, it does a quick check to make sure the hardware is up to snuff. Then comes the cool part. The AI does what they call a brainwashing. It basically inhales all of your company's internal manuals and network maps. Once it's done learning, it spins up an internal chat for your employees. And that's it. You're good to go. And the best part, no data ever leaves your network. So when you zoom back out and put all of these pieces back together, you realize you've built something much bigger than just a few clever tools. What you have now is a complete, self-reliant technological ecosystem. And that is the sovereign stack. You've got an AI sysadmin, an AI grid manager, and now an AI help desk all working together. It means a remote node, a compound, can maintain both its physical and its digital health with pretty close to zero human intervention required. It's true autonomy. But all this progress, it brings us to one last really big question. As we build these incredibly powerful, truly sovereign AI systems that operate completely on their own, we have to stop and ask ourselves, who is actually in control here? Or what is in control? And that's a question we're all going to have to wrestle with.